Once upon a time, in a small, forgotten town called Eldridge Hollow, nestled between the shadowy mountains and dense woods, darkness loomed thick in the atmosphere. Stories of strange happenings had circulated for generations, whispers of lives lost, shadows in the woods, and voices drifting on the night air. Yet, the townsfolk had grown complacent, believing these myths to be nothing more than old wives' tales intended to scare children. That was until the night the stories transformed into stark reality. 17-year-old Mia Thompson had always held a fascination for folklore, especially the tales of the Wendigo, a malevolent spirit from Algonquian mythology believed to manifest in those who succumbed to greed and gluttony. Despite her logical mind, Mia found herself enthralled by the stories told by her grandmother, her voice quavering with fear as she recounted people lost to the beast. When winter grips the land and hunger gnaws at your belly, you must not stray too far into the woods. For the Wendigo's hunger is insatiable, and it has a way of tempting you to become like it. As the first snow of winter blanketed Eldridge Hollow, Mia and her friends decided to test the limits of their courage. The group, fueled by tales of bravery and fearlessness, planned to venture into the encroaching night of the forest, wanting to make memories they would recount for years. Clad in layers of winter clothing, with flashlights in hand, they laughed and joked, completely unaware that their innocent adventure would carry dire consequences. They made their way deeper into the woods, the trees towering above like ancient sentinels keeping secrets. The air was cold and biting, lending an eerie stillness to their banter. As they drew closer to the heart of the forest, the laughter died down, replaced by an overwhelming silence. The only sound that punctured the quiet was the rustling of branches swaying in the wind. "Hey, let's split up. It'll be more exciting," proposed Ryan, the charismatic leader of their group. Though Mia felt a shiver of apprehension dance down her spine, she couldn't muster the words to decline. Everyone nodded in agreement, and soon they dispersed into the hungry darkness, each armed with nothing but nervous chuckles and flickering beams of light. Mia wandered deeper into the woods, her breath visible in the cold night air. The trees loomed around her, their gnarled branches stretching out like skeletal hands. A peculiar feeling swept over her, a sense that the forest was watching, waiting. She recalled her grandmother's tales with a twinge of dread. Was it possible? Was the Wendigo real? Suddenly, a low groan echoed in the distance, a sound so unnatural that it sent cold fingers of fear crawling up her spine. Squinting into the darkness, Mia felt her heart race. A flicker of movement caught her eye, and she turned her flashlight towards it just in time to see a large figure flit between the trees, its silhouette skeletal, its limbs elongated and twisted. "Mia, is that you?" a voice called from the shadows, interrupting her focus. It was Sarah, one of her friends. Mia hurried towards the voice, relief flooding her sense, but nothing could prepare her for what awaited her. As she reached Sarah, the air thickened, and a terrible chill swept through them. "Did you hear that?" Sarah's voice trembled. Just then, a guttural growl rumbled from behind them, low and haunting. The very earth shook under it. Mia turned slowly, her heart hammering in her chest, and there it stood, the Wendigo. Its eyes glowed with a feral hunger, its gaunt features twisted in a grotesque snarl. Sharp teeth glistened in the light of their flashlights as it advanced toward them, its breath a frosty cloud in the frigid air. The memories of Grandma's stories flooded back, about how the Wendigo was once human, consumed by an insatiable hunger for flesh. "We need to run," Mia shouted, her instincts kicking in as the creature lunged. The two girls sprinted back through the trees, branches clawing at their clothes and hair, the cries of their friends echoing in the distance. They stumbled and bumbled through the dark, each noise amplifying their panic. They could hear Ryan's shout as he and the others met the same fate, their voices swallowed by the woods. The hunger of the Wendigo echoed with each heartbeat, a predator savoring the chase. Finally, they burst into a clearing, breathing heavily. There was no sign of the others, only the weight of panic pressing on their chests. Suddenly, a rumbling sounded from the edge of the woods, a confrontation between them and their fate. Clenching her fists, Mia remembered the tales. The only way to overcome the Wendigo was to combat its hunger with courage and camaraderie. "Sarah, we can't let it win. We have to stay together," she yelled, her voice breaking the thick fog of despair that threatened to snuff them out. With shaky resolve, they stood side by side, determined not to let fear consume them. As the creature emerged, they faced it, armed not just with flashlights but with the strength of their friendship. The Wendigo halted, its glowing eyes narrowing, confused by their resolve. At that moment, Mia screamed, a piercing cry that echoed through the night. "We will not let you take us. We will fight back with our strength." To their shock, the creature recoiled, as if their unity was an unyielding force against its ancient hunger. In that split second, the woods trembled, and with a deafening wail, the Wendigo transformed into a whirlwind of shadow and ash, dissipating with a fierce gust of icy wind. The woods fell silent, the suffocating darkness retreating with the creature. Mia and Sarah released the breath they hadn't realized they were holding, the sense of accomplishment filling them with adrenaline. They quickly made their way back to where they had left the others, finding them huddled together in surprised relief. The night had transformed into an eerie calm, a silence laced with the hint of danger now gone. Eldridge Hollow would continue to whisper about the legends long forgotten, but now Mia carried the knowledge that myths could breathe life, and terrifying things could lurk in the shadows. But together, they had faced the darkness, and their bond remained unbreakable, a collective strength to battle whatever shadows awaited.